What we hope to do now is to give you a brief demonstration with how open works with a simple scenario. Our scenario is that our science department has requested 20 Bunsen burners. They need them within 10 days because they've got an inspection of the school in 10 days time. And so they want Bunsen burners that are approved for use within the classroom, and obviously we want to try and get the best value possible for the school. So what we're going to try and do is see how Open can actually do this. So the first thing is to go and log in. Obviously, as you can see, Open's available over the internet, so there's no software to put into your machine. It's just a matter of finding the appropriate web page and logging in. Now, the person logging in here could be either yourself in the centre of the school within the bursar's office or the business manager's office, or you could give access to this part of the system to the science department, and they could actually put the request through themselves. Now, looking through this page, you can see this is the Open home page. It's got all the things you'd expect to see in a system like this. There's your profile, where you can actually see information about yourself as a user and put in your new password if you want to change it. There's also the feedback section, so if you feel that there's any areas that you think Open can improve, or a response that you want to give us to Open, well, fill in a feedback form so that we can actually really consider those things for the future development of Open. But going back to our scenario, if your task is that you need to go shopping and find 20 Bunsen burners and get the best value, obviously it's fairly simple where you're going to go and click. As you can see on the left there, we've got the buyer menu, and hopefully our user's going to get it right and go and click on the start shopping section. Which opens up the business catalogue area of Open. So, thinking now, what would you search for if you have the task of trying to find 20 Bunsen burners? Well, this works exactly the same as in Amazon or Tesco's online, all those shopping sites that you're used to on the internet. You can type in the words there into the search box and it will return results that match against those words. So, for example, our user's going to go through here and they're going to type in the word Bunsen. Obviously they could put in Bunsen burner, they chose just to put the one word, and they'll find out what the results are that it returns. As you can see, in our little test system here, it's returned 3 results. So there's a choice with 2 different suppliers for the Bunsen burners, and you can look through them and review the different items to make a decision about which one you feel is best. But sometimes it's not always immediately obvious how you're actually getting the best value by looking through a list. And so what Open enables you to do is to actually compare the items side by side. So our users selected here to put them and compare each of them side by side. It's just a much easier way of seeing the differences between the items and making sure that you're actually able to deliver best value. So you'll remember that our challenge was that we wanted to buy 20 Bunsen burners. We wanted to get the best value and they had to be approved for use within school. And also they had to be delivered within 10 days because we've got our school inspection coming up. So looking through these items, which one actually demonstrates best value? Well, by clicking on the compare with column, it highlights any differences between the items. So we can see there that the middle one option allows us to buy a box of 10 and they can deliver it within 3 days because the lead time says 3 days. The option on the right is actually a box of 20, so it's the right amount there in one box, and again they can deliver it within 3 days. But actually the one on the left appears to demonstrate best value because 20 times 199 comes to less than the other 2, and they can deliver within 7 days, so that's appropriate, we think. It's also important to mention that one of the considerations is often how much they'll charge you for delivery. There's no point finding the cheapest item and then having to pay £40 to get it delivered to your school. And so the carriage free section there actually highlights that. And so if an item did have a delivery charge associated to it, the supplier could actually link a related delivery charge item to that particular item. They'd show as linked and you could choose to select it and add it in to your shopping cart. So that way it helps you to make a good decision at this point about which is the best value item. So having looked through them, I'm sure you can go through and make your decision. We'll see what our user decides. So he goes through and reviews the items carefully, making those kind of considerations that we've just made there about the values and the delivery times that are available. You can read through the description. The supplier also can add in extra information if there's particular health and safety information on the further document section at the bottom if they wish. All these things helping you to deliver best value for your school. So after making that consideration, our user goes ahead and decides that he's going to choose the $1.99 each item. And so by clicking on the shopping cart, actually it adds it in. You can see at the top there we've now got one item in our shopping cart. Now I'm sure you've all spotted the mistake that the user's made so far. Yes, our challenge was to get 20 Bunsen burners, but actually they've only got one that they've added into the shopping cart. So hopefully our user's going to actually see that. So before going through, he almost sends the order, but then he notices his mistake and he updates the quantity and then clicks on the save button then to update the quantity, and he's then able to send the order here, which closes down that particular section of the catalogue. Now we move on to a screen that many of you who work within schools in Bursar's office are familiar with. It's Sims FMS. So as we mentioned, that before, what was actually run by the user could have been run by yourself in the Bursar's office or by somebody in the science department. But it's important to mention that at the time when they send that order from Open, actually it doesn't go to the supplier. You still retain control over that order before it goes to the supplier. So we'll see how that works within these screens that you're familiar with. So within Sims FMS, there's a new import transactions bit of functionality. What this does is it goes away and it searches on the internet for any transactions that are appropriate for your school. So the order that's just been submitted for the Bunsen burners should be available there. Also, if any suppliers send through invoices or credit notes electronically, then it will go and pick that up at this stage. This is a bit of functionality within Sims FMS that you'll need to run on a regular basis to make sure that you're picking up any orders, invoices or credit notes for your school. So we'll see there that actually it's picked up just one order, and that's that one order that was submitted for our Bunsen burners, either by our person in the science department or someone within the bursar's office. And by looking in the orders section, we can see that that order actually shows there as an order that hasn't yet been authorized within Sims FMS.